So the wait is over. James Gunn's Superman film released last weekend. We finally have the answer of which Superman film is better. James Gunn's Superman or Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. I'm going to get right to the chase. Zack Snyder, man. Snyderverse. It's just a better film. It's just a better film. It ain't too many ways you can cut it. It is what it is. Now, before I get into the specifics, I've been listening to the critics, and most fans are saying they're leaning towards James Gunn Superman. Why? Because that's more like the Superman that's in the comics. Well, guess what? We're not talking about comics. We're talking about film. And as a superhero film, I got to give it to Man of Steel because it's simply more compelling. It's simply more compelling if you look at the story and you look at the action. I'm going to take those two core components. First of all, action. Wow. I mean, James Gunn Superman, the action, it was weak as hell. And I attribute a lot of that to the stakes just feeling so low. The film is so light and fluffy. I can't take anything seriously. Even when there was a giant dragon destroying the city, everybody's joking around, cracking. It's just, I couldn't take nothing serious. And that's just not what I want in a Superman film. If you contrast that to Man of Steel, man, even in the non-fighting scenes, the action, he's saving the rig at sea, he busting through the flames, coming through the flames, engulfing them, and he's just powering through. I mean, man. Not to mention the final showdown between Superman and the Kryptonians, man. The stakes feel high. They was jumping them. At one point, they was grabbing them by the cape. They was elbow dropping them. I'm like, man, I don't know if he's going to win. I didn't get any of that in James Gunn Superman. And I know a lot of the fans don't need to see that. They don't need to see that, and they didn't see that because the action was just weak as hell. The story. Who has the better villain? I got to give it to Man of Steel, man. I got to give it Zod, man. I forget the actor who plays Zod, but he was serious business. And when they got into the fisticuffs, I was like, man, that last 15, 20 minutes was so exciting. Lex Luthor and James Gunn Superman, I mean, he was petty, snarky. I mean, it was all right. Like I said, it was all so fluffy, and that's just. Do I want to see a multiverse of fluff? That's basically what it comes down to, and I just don't. I think maybe James Gunn is contrasting Marvel, even though he did do Guardians of the Galaxy. Even in a film like Guardian of the Galaxy, where it heavily relied on comedy. These are kind of like the Rugrats of the MCU or whatever. The stakes still felt high. Like, it was the people was trying to dominate the galaxy. You still felt that. I didn't get any of that in this Superman film. I don't know what James Gunn is going to do with Batman, because I'm hearing that Robert Pattinson's Batman is not going to be a part of the DCU. So that's going to be interesting. But once again, not to get too far away, when I think about the films and I'm talking about the villains, Man of Steel, man, Zod. I'm going to give it to Zod. Luthor was cool. But like I said, Man of Steel is just the better film. Even when you talk about the sheer fact that the best part of Man of Steel, not Man of Steel, but James Gunn Superman, wasn't even Superman. It was Mr. Terrific. Played by Eddie. I forget his last name. I'm going to say I'm not going to mess it up, but it's Eddie. E-D-I. He was the best part of the film. You let and all he did was be a cool black guy. He didn't do anything crazy. He was just a cool black guy. He hit his lines. He was funny. He was the best part. How do you let a side character steal the film? You let a side character steal the film. Granted, in Man of Steel, there was no sidekick. They didn't introduce any other characters. Man of Steel, Kryptonians, that was the conflict. I think it was some government officials at some point, but nobody could steal that film. And at the end, listen, I know that Superman never kills. I like a neck snapping Superman. Flat out. I like a neck snapping Superman. I liked it. It showed how much he cared about the people, and he did what he had to do for the greater good. So it still kind of works. All in all, this video is not an indictment on James Gunn's Superman. It was a fun film. It was a fun watch. I gave it one head nod. I like Man of Steel better. I didn't rate Man of Steel, but because I rewatched it this weekend, I would give it one head nod. I think they're both overall equal, but I would give the edge to Man of Steel. It kind of drags. I feel like that second act dragged a little bit, but I'm still going to have to give it to Man of Steel as the superior film. They did Zack Snyder and damn, I forget his name. What's the guy who plays Superman and Man of Steel? Damn. Henry Cavill. They did Zack and Henry wrong. Man of Steel is the better film. I would have liked to have seen, because the Snyder cut of Justice League, it was given. Anyway, Man of Steel's better. But shout out to James Gunn. The Superman film was a fun watch, and DC seems to be doing something, because what they were doing before, no bueno. Peace.